We need to find a Home Depot.
Even better, we need to go back to the Maker Collective.
Yeah, I don't like the whole radiation thing, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I want to buy the biggest lead suit thing we can find. I mean, can you buy mil spec armor? Or what would protect us the most?
Really, it depends on how long we're in the area. As long as you're wearing some clothing, and I mean, it's been what, 5 years, decades since they launched the nuke. As long as we're not sleeping there overnight, we shouldn't have any long-term issues.
And you're going to want to bring a pair of clothing you either don't mind discarding before we return to wherever we live, or something that's going to be very tight and form-fitting because you don't want to track any dust or any moisture from the hot zone back with you.
Malibu does know that while it is inside the known radiation zone, he's, of course, not sure what exactly that means. That's just what people say. But it is on the edge.
Haunted House finishes eating his trout.
Man, all my contacts are back in Seattle. All right, I guess I'll call. Who? I don't think Quantum Princess likes me, guys. I think one of you guys should call her. Tell her we need some, like, super badass radiation armor.
All right, everybody who doesn't have a respirator or something that's going to work for outer clothing, let me know. I'll make one purchase.
I raise my cyber hand, and it glitches a little bit comically.
Give us
I
the
do not
plastic
have anything
poncho.
for radiation.
Yeah, I need a radiation suit as well.
I need get me a plastic poncho.
Okay. Haunted House is going to contact Quantum Princess and ask if she can get a hold of 5 rating 4 respirators and 1 elven, 3 human urban explorer jumpsuits that have been shielded against radiation.
Or she can have you in touch with someone who can get it for you by the end of the day. Let's just say by the end of the day you'll have it. But or I'm sorry, by tomorrow afternoon you'll have it the next day.
After hanging up, Haunted House looks over to the others and says, okay, it's going to be 1,600 nuyen to get you radiation-proof suits and then respirators that are also going to protect you from any radioactive dust.
How much again? How much?
1,600 nuyen.
Oh, that wily so-and-so. She only gave us 500 extra for this dreck.
Well, you'd be more pissed if you had to pay $2,000 for a set of cyber lungs and a brand new coat of skin. So it's really not quite a bargain, but it is a fair deal.
She screwed us. I'm real mad at that lady.
On the way back, on your drive back from Milwaukee into Chicago, you do get another call, another contact. Maybe it's a good thing that your fixer got a hold of you while the sun was still shining, because after your meeting and after all this, even a milk run can go pear-shaped fast after dark in the CZ, and if things go well, you can get this job in the bag and be out enjoying your cred before the bars close on the next day. Of course, your comlink chirps and you don't recognize the icon. It's a sparrow with jade green eyes.
I answer it.
Greetings, says a female voice politely. You don't know me, but I believe we have a mutual acquaintance. Tall, blonde, and wearing clothes 3 sizes too small for polite society. She's in a humorous way describing the Johnson the Ms. Johnson you just met with.
Oh yeah. She owes us money for some radiation. Well, I mean, I shouldn't tell you that. What's up? How can you help you with that information? I don't know who you're talking about.
Let me just cut to the chase. I know what she's asking you to do, and I think we can help each other. Would you be willing to meet with me?
Am I the only one on the line right now?
Do you know how to put your phone onto speaker?
No. but this lady wants to talk to us about the other lady about our job, and I don't know if we should do that. Is that a good idea?
Well, you've kind of screwed the pooch by admitting that we've already accepted the job. So now
I didn't say
outside
anything
party
definitive. I said
friend.
nothing definitive. Nothing definitive was said by me.
Do
I
you
can
know
just
how to-
hang up on the broad.
You hang up.
No. Voice in the sky. I said I could. I told my compadres that I could just hang up
Oh.
on her if they want.
What do you think, Davros? Case, do we want to talk to somebody else about this job, or do we want to just kind of focus?
Well, I find it interesting that she called us and has
Why
at
don't
least
one of
our
you
contacts.
call? Why don't you one of you call Miss Johnson real quick, and I'll try to stall with this lady, and just do that. Hurry, quick, call the other lady, and then I get on my phone and I say, "Oh, I got a really bad check here. Can you call me back in 5 minutes?"
She says, "Look, I can understand your apprehension. If you would like, I can meet you at a place that you suggest, wherever you would like, and I think it would benefit you to meet with me."
Do I have her phone number? All right, I'm gonna call you back, lady. I gotta talk to my compadres. You're freaking me out a lot, so I'm gonna hang up on you now. I'm sorry, and then I hang up.
That was.
One of you guys, could you please call Miss Johnson, please? I don't want to talk to her about this. I'm already freaked out about the radiation, and now we got creepy ladies calling us about other creepy ladies, and
All right, what was
that I
creepy
want to have
lady?
sex with.
What was the
But
name she
I
gave?
thought that you talked some of our best deals.
I do typically, but why are our Johnsons always lady types nowadays? You know that they're my only weakness. Well, one of my only weaknesses.
Well, what do you think, Case? Is it worth talking to an outside party?
Well, if as long as the jobs don't clash and we can get them both done with about the same effort, I don't see why we don't pick up the extra million. So if you like, I'll give our dandelion friend a call and find out if she's familiar with whoever it was that you. What was the name that she gave you that just called you there? I forgot.
Lilac or lilac? Ladybird?
She did not give you a name.
Oh, it was a picture of a ladybug?
It was a picture of a sparrow with jade green eyes.
Oh, yeah. Some kind of bird had green eyes.
Okay. We have a contact number for our Johnson that we just got done meeting with, right?
Correct.
All right. I'll give her a call. Ask her if she happens to know anybody who's fond of birds with green eyes.
She kind of gives you a sideways glance and, looks confused and says, "I'm not sure what you're asking me."
What I'm asking you is, do you know any other young women who might be familiar with your business that is fond of birds with green eyes?
She still continues to look a little confused, and she says, "No."
Thank you. I hang up. She doesn't know.
Or we're just not asking the right question. Obviously, the potential Johnson knows that there's the first job in the first place. So either they have a very good intelligence department at her company or within her organization, or we're not the first group that Miss Silverleaf approached. I'm all for extra money, but I think the complexity of this job just kind of makes it a bit difficult to try to be in two places at the same time.
I am absolutely. I don't think that this lady's just going to try to give us another job. I mean, how does she know that we're doing the job? How does she know who we are? How did she get my number? I'm kind of freaked out. Why don't one of you hacker people go and find out who she is so we don't have some kind of idea of what the hell is going on? I'm tired of not understanding anything. It's frustrating me.
Did you give us the number?
Yes, I told you about the bird with green eyes. And I hand him my phone. Do it.
All right. Take the phone, look at it. Is there any comm code associated with the call that just came in?
Not precisely. You could probably track who it was and trace it if you were on a call with the person.
So call her up if you
All
need
right.
to call her on the
So I'm going to call her, and I want to be in VR and see what the comm code is and try to track her location.
All right. When you call it back, she answers and says, "All you see, by the way, is the icon. She's not broadcasting video or anything, but she sees you and says, and she starts and says, "Oh, well, I'm glad you. Oh, I was expecting the other one."
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but who are you and what is it that we can do for you?
I'm someone who. Look, let's just say I know who's hiring you, and I know what they're asking you to do, and they're not giving you the whole story. And I'm sure you saw how convincing, and you can almost hear the air quotes that she's using, how convincing she can be. I think it would benefit you to hear a little bit more detail about what's going on, and I promise you I can help you get in to where you're trying to get and get out, but I need you to meet with me before you try.
Well, you seem to be the lady with all the knowledge. Except I would like to know a name.
I can meet with you anywhere you would like. I don't want you to feel incredibly... I'm not trying to trap you. Tell me where to meet you. You can even be there first before you tell me where to be. It doesn't matter. I promise you I'm just trying to meet you and talk to you about what you're about to do, and it will be beneficial to you, I promise. And I am
Hold
trying to
one moment.
protect myself at the same time.
All right, I'd ask her to hold on, put the call on hold, look at a map, see where we are. I assume we're traveling back to Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Look over the house. Where is the nearest stuffer shack or something of that magnitude around here that we can get to quickly?
See if she can meet us at Chicago's own pizzeria on the north edge of the Chicago Metro. It's about a 40-minute drive ahead of us, and we can be there within the hour.
Yeah, pick up the call again. Why don't you meet us in an hour and a half at Chicago's own pizzeria? How
Okay.
will we know you?
I do know the place. I'll be wearing a long coat and a hood.
So will
I'll
everyone
contact
else.
you again. She kind of slightly chuckles, and she says, "I'll contact you when I get there, and let you know that I'm coming in."
I say while we get ready to arrive there, the three of you go into the restaurant. I'm going to remain in the vehicle, and I'm going to look to see who comes into the parking area, and just keep an eye on the transportation.
All right. Well, when you get there, you guys recognize the pizzeria, so you just go on in.
Yeah, House, if you're going to stay outside, do you think you might be able to put up one of your spy drones to just patrol?
Yeah, that shouldn't be too difficult. Do you want me to send anything inside with you, or do you want just a second pair of eyes on the property?
Don't. You can put. I mean, if you want to bring one of your small ones in, we can do that. I think I'm going to be pretty much covering VR while we're in here, monitoring what's going on.
House hands over one of the micro skimmer drones that's about the size of a large coaster. And he says, "Here, use this, cover it partially with a napkin, and just pretend that it's a coaster that you're very rudely not using at a nice restaurant." If something happens, send me a message and I'll jump in and I'll do a quick sweep.
All right. What was it that you gave me? I missed that. I'm sorry.
It's a Sikorsky Bell. It's a micro skimmer drone. It's about the size of a coaster.
Tell you what, even better, if you want to keep your drone, I've got a microphone and a video security tags here, sensor tags that you can hook up with to keep an eye out in here. That way we don't have to worry about hiding a drone. Because we're not going to plan on flying it around, right?
No, I'm not going to make it mobile, but I can jump in and I can activate its sensor suite just to make sure that there isn't anything out of the ordinary going on in terms of either radiation or radio signals.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
You guys head into the restaurant and you're waiting around for her to show up?
Yeah, once we get in her seat, I'm gonna just go into the astral plane and wait for her to come in.
All right, well, who's outside of the building?
House was going to stay outside.
Well, eventually, House, you do... give me a perception test.
The drone got 1 success.
All right, so you see, it's a popular restaurant and it's a good time for it. So people are coming in and out and everything, and you see some people going into the restaurant, and you do notice a hooded, long cloaked female. Not as she's getting out of her car, but you kind of like, oh, I think that's probably her as she's going into the building, as she's just opening the door.
Real quick, I just flashed a heads up to the crew that I think our individual has arrived, and I'm going to continue to monitor the parking lot.
Yeah, and at about the same time that everybody gets that message from House, you also get a message from the person that contacted you, Case, and she says, "I'm here. Where are you?" Well, I guess it would have gone to Malibu. That's the number that she has.
Yeah.
We're in the pizza place, right? I mean, yeah, we're in the pizza place.
Where in the pizza place? I'm here.
I'm standing by the fish tank. Where are you?
You see a woman walk up. She's hooded, got a long cloak or a long coat. She sits down and she kind of pulls it back just a little bit so you can see her face, and you see her eyes look around, make sure that she's not being watched, and she says, "Thank you for meeting me." When she gets closer, you can see that she's an orc female.
Boo don't discriminate.
I got a picture for you on your Roll20 here now. As I mentioned on the phone, or on the comm, the job that you're getting from your employer, Silverleaf, she's not giving you the whole story. And, well, this is a little bit more of a complicated job than you're being told. What I'm going to ask you to do is not going to be an easy thing to ask you, but basically, I need that information, and I need it to come to me and not her.
Well, okay. I have a few questions for you. First of all, who are you?
I can't give you my identity. I'm willing to pay you 3,000 new yen each, and I know for a fact that's not as much as she's offering you. So you don't have to tell me that. Like I said, what I know is it's not going to be good if this information gets into the wrong hands.
Okay, well, I mean, not going to be good doesn't really translate to 2,000 new yen for me, so it might be good if you keep talking.
You've not given us a compelling reason to go back on our employer here, particularly not in the pay area. So why is it that you don't want this information out?
She's offering you 5,000 new yen to get this job done, and I know for a fact that this is a very difficult and dangerous place to go into, not just because of the radiation. It's not going to be easy to get to, and I happen to know somebody who can help you get in there and get out by giving you some information as well. That assistance by knowing what you're getting into is worth money in and of itself. Go ahead and roll negotiations.
Oh, crap. Sorry, I didn't realize I was not on mute. One success. I will go ahead and use edge to roll my failures there. All right, 4 more successes.
All right, she says, okay. And she kind of like taps her fingers nervously on the table, and she says, all right, I see I'm going to probably have to entice you a little bit more. I can offer you 4,500 new yen each. Plus, as I said, I'm going to give you some information or get you in touch with someone who can help you.
Help us with what? We don't need help with any. What are you talking about?
You have not told us why it would be such a bad thing for us to give this information to an employer we've already contracted with.
I can't give you all of the... I mean, I'm sure you all are familiar with negotiations in this type of work, and it wouldn't be wise for me to give you all of the information about those kinds of details
Look,
now.
lady, you have to realize right now, I understand what you're saying about information and blah, 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 but right now we have the upper hand in terms of information. And, you're asking us to take a big leap, and you're the one that's going to have to fork over more information if you want to get anywhere in life. You got to learn.
She takes a deep breath and seems a little bit exasperated, and she says, all right, are you, and she leans in again, and she says, she seems a little bit more determined and forceful, and she says, are you familiar with Fab 3? Davros, what kind of, give me a biology knowledge skill roll and give yourself a +2 for your...
Biology?
Yes.
Okay. 3 successes.
All right, you are familiar with Fab 3. Fab, F-A-B, stands for fluorescing astral bacteria. Strain 3, what it was, just to give you a brief history of what Davros would know and he'd learned in school and everything.
It makes walls for space magic.
What it was an astrally sensitive form of bacteria that would die if it came into contact with auras, astral forms. It was used early on to reveal the location of astral forms. That was the first generation. The second generation strain revealed astral forms when exposed to UV light. However, it basically interacted with things and did damage and slowed things down that were attempting to pass through it. This is what Aaron's referring to. With strain 2, they would line walls with it. It would make it more difficult for astral forms to pass through barriers. Now, Fab 3 was a weaponized variant of the fluorescing astral bacteria. It actively seeked out astral forms and drained their magic. This is like the stuff of nightmares of magicians and everything. It was used in Chicago even before everything that happened there, because of the bugs being spirits. It could effectively destroy the magical ability or even the life of a magic using person.
Oh man.
So that's what you know. So yeah, she says, are you familiar with Fab 3?
I'll shudder and I say, yeah, I know what it is.
Well, just so you know, she's reluctant to say this, but she says, what she's asking you to find isn't just proof of ownership of the facility. It's research notes for a potential vaccine against Fab 3. And while on the surface that sounds great, a vaccine for Fab 3, I'm sure you can imagine what type of nefarious purposes the mega corporations could find for use for a vaccine against such a bacterial infection.
And you would have better purposes for this research?
I don't want these people to get a hold of it. That's what I'm concerned about.
Well, what do you think they're going to do with it?
I can only speculate. The first thing that pops to my mind is that they would be vaccinating their own people against it in order to use it, to make it more possible to use.
Look, I don't know what you guys are talking about, but I'm kind of pissed off right now that we accepted 5,000 million and that we're talking about 4,500 million for something that sounds like it's worth like a bajillion million. Not to get too technical or anything, but this sounds like a pretty big deal we're stepping into, if assuming that what lady here is saying is true.
I'll turn to the group and I say, I don't know, guys. This Fab 3, this is nasty stuff. It is I don't know. I don't know if I want to be anywhere near this. I mean, a vaccine is great, but if some megacorp is going to try to use it against the population, that is not good. I would not want to be a part of that.
And 25,000 million to pay us to do for this thing? I mean, don't you think they should have probably paid us a little bit more? At least enough to pay for our fragging radiation suits? I'm still pissed about that.
So I'm going to turn to the girl again and say, so you say you don't want the data, but you want us to hand over this node to you, right? So what are you going to do with it?
I'm going to make sure it doesn't get to the wrong people.
What does that mean? Are you going to destroy it? Are you going to use it for something else? I mean, this is research. This is a big deal for anybody. I don't know what you're going to do with it. Why should I trust you?
I don't suppose that there's a lot of reason that you could trust me, except for the fact that I've probably given you a ton more information than your previous employer did. That's a show of good faith. That's all I can really offer you. And the 4,500 new yen. And some person that you can talk to that can help you get in. She leans back as if to, with body language, to say, like, her cards are on the table. This is her offer. This is what she has for you.
As far as I'm concerned, one corp or another, I say we go with the higher offer.
I'm gonna sub mic the team and I'll say, look, I don't know these two. I mean, I don't know the intentions of either of these people, but I'm gonna try something bold here. It might backfire, but if it does, then we can just go with the higher offer. Is that okay with everybody? I want to see if this girl's intentions are what she says they are, and if she declines, then we'll just go with the higher offer.
Okay.
So I'm just saying. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go to the girl and I say, look, I think we're going to go to the higher offer unless you can do one thing for me. I can go and I can probe your mind, and I want to see if you're telling me the truth, that you don't want this to fall into the wrong hands. So if that's the truth, then you should have no reason to reject me. So that's the only way we're going to accept your offer.
She stands up and she brushes her coat and she says, if that's what it's going to take, then I can find someone else to find this information and get it before you do.
Wait a minute. Red card. You're not going anywhere.
She furrows her brow.
Am I right, guys? I mean, we're going to let this lady go hire a team to, kill us?
I mean, I was fine with letting her go till she started talking about hiring somebody to come against us.
I didn't say anything about hiring somebody to hurt you. I said I'm going to...
Sounds like a preemptive strike that we need to seriously think about now.
I'm not trying
I think
to
we all need to go for a drive and discuss this in the fresh air. So why don't you come with us, and we'll just have a little conversation in our creepy van.
I'm sorry, I'm not going anywhere with you. I've made the offer. You're free to take it to somebody else, but you can't honestly think that I'm going to try. This is important information that I feel very strongly cannot go to your employer.
Is anybody waiting outside right now? Are we all inside? Did we do that dumb thing?
House is outside.
House, you need... I'm going to send that text message to House. House, there's a orc lady coming out. You need to get her, okay? You need to get her.
Do you mean get her as in life on the streets? I'm going to get you, sucker? Or just pick her up?
I'm not very good at texting, so I type, just get her.
Okay, I'm going to see what I can do.